Good morning. Uh, Hello. Good morning. I'm here for an. I'm. My name is Prashant. I am your nurse today. How are you doing? Okay. I'm here to do an assessment for you. I wanted to assess your heart and also your digestive system. So, is that okay with you? I may have to expose your areas uh, while doing assessment. May have to inspect and palpate the areas to find the things out. Is that okay with you? Okay. So I may have to ask a couple of questions about before I start doing it. So are you on any kind of diet, any kind of special diet, or what kind of diet you're following? Okay. So are you in pain? No. Okay. So do you have any have you ever had any kind of bowel problems or diseases before? Any kind of surgeries? No. Any kind of surgeries? No. There is no kind. Have you ever undergone any kind of surgeries for your chest or any kind of surgeries or medical history? The heart diseases or heart problems? Any BP variations in the past? No. Any have you undergone any kind of surgeries for your heart? No. So have you ever have any symptoms like palpitations, like increased heart rate or pounding sensation in the chest or pain in the past? Okay. So I'm going to start with your abdominal inspection. I am going to uh, expose the area. I make sure before I expose the area, make sure give the privacy for the patient and uh, expose the area. Now I am going to look at the abdomen. This is the umbilicus over here. I divided the abdomen into four quadrants: right lower quadrant, um, left lower quadrant, left upper quadrant, and right upper quadrant. I'm going to, sorry, auscultate right lower quadrant for any kind of hyperactive vowel sounds or any hypoactive vowel sounds. I'm checking that for 5 minutes. Moving to the next quadrant. Okay. Uh, Now I did the auscultation. I didn't hear any kind of hyperactive or hypoactive vowel sounds. The vowel sounds were um, hmm, normal, and I'm going to check uh, any kind of vascular um, sounds. So first I'm going to check using the bell of the stethoscope under his xiphoid process for any bruit. That's the aortic area. Then I am checking for renal arteries to to the towards the costal angles, just like below the costal angles. and and here below the umbilicus on left lower quadrant and right lower quadrant for iliac arteries, and the femoral arteries. I couldn't hear any kind of uh, bruit or any abnormal sound. So bruit is an abnormal sound that heard when there is an obstruction in those arteries. So there was no obstruction in arteries, there was no bruit for this patient. So now I'm going to do palpation. Just make sure my hands are warm enough when I touch the patient. I'm going to palpate your around your umbilicus and your to see. I'm going to do a light palpation. I started from the right lower quadrant, right upper quadrant, left lower quadrant, left upper quadrant, and left lower quadrant. Then I do the same with the deep palpation. I'm going to palpate it more like a two. Okay, I didn't see any. I can also palpate the bladder. So this is from below the umbilicus. I have to palpate, so I can feel a half-filled bladder. Next, I'm going to do percussion. So I start percussing the stomach. I wanted to see any kind of the dull sounds are for the organ or any kind of fluid filled cavities or the adipose tissue or any mass or tumor, or I may the normal sound would be tympani, and I can hear a kind of resonance if there is a lot of air filled cavity. So I'm going to start my percussion. I'm going to percuss your stomach. So I'm going to percuss lever. So it starts from below the umbilicus towards the through the mid-clavicular line towards the nipple. So I can see a difference. I can hear a difference in sound somewhere here that changes into dullness, that is just below the the margins, costal margins. Then I'm going to do the same from the third intercostal space or second or third intercostal space towards the abdomen through the mid-clavicular line. I can hear a change in the sound, so I mark that too. And this is the size of the liver. I can find it here. It could be 6 to 12 centimeter. Then next I'm going to do the spleen. So I'm can you please lay on your side? So I'm making the patient to lay on his side, and I'm going to do the same with the from the mid-axillary line, through the mid-axillary line, the position of umbilicus towards upwards. So I can hear a change nearby 11 or 9th rib. I'm going to do the same from 9th rib towards the umbilicus through mid-axillary line. So I can hear a change, so I note that. So that is a spleen. Then I may have to percuss the bladder. The bladder percussion starts from below the umbilicus. The full bladder gives a dull sound, and empty bladder gives a timpani. And I percuss all the 4 quadrants. So I can feel hyperresonance sometimes in the left upper quadrant, because there can be a gastric a bubble. So there will be a gastric bubble in the left epigastric region, so I can find it around here. So that's all about my gastric assessment. Next I'm going to do the respiratory assessment for this client.